We got a new season of Stranger Things, so a new drawing of the Demogorgon. So, flower head, landscape page, pencil eraser, hip pose if I go too fast. I've drawn them before, sort of head and shoulders kind of thing, but I'll put in some of those claws because, you know, creepy. So the big thing is like all the teeth on the inside. Now I've seen like simpler versions where you do like in Fortnite, you know, where they give them like just like large teeth instead of like the small hairy ones. So it's up to you what way you do that, but maybe we'll do something kind of in between. A little bit like a lot of teeth, but maybe medium. So let's draw the big freaky flower head first. So let me see here. So he's got like a spiky one on top. Okay, so we'll get the general shape for it in first. So we'll just go up for the one that's in the middle first. It's just a spike sort of sticking up, right? And then they open out. They come to a sort of a point here. Then down. In, right? So that sort of shape. It's like bits of skin and stuff connecting everything together as well. We'll do the same on the other side. They don't have to be the exact same shape now. They're kind of, you know, different on either side. And then just down here. Okay, it's this kind of star sort of thing. So what we got to do then is sort of add gnarly sort of wrinkles and texture lines and all that on the inside of this. So say the open part of the mouth, it's just this round sort of black hole. It has some teeth covering like the edges of it. But we'll just go sort of like this first, right? Let's say like there's like some bumps and stuff coming around. Just like the throat, sort of like some wrinkles and things. There. So I'll shadow that up mostly, but what I want to do before I shadow it up is add some, you know, spiky sort of teeth coming down. And you can do the big, like I said, or small. But I just want to draw them first before I go black on the inside. You know, because I would cover them then. So I'm just going to color this black, and then we'll start adding the details around the rest of the flower. So just to have some that are sticking out sort of the shadow, that's all. And then we'll add more around. Okay, and there's like all wrinkles and stuff all coming around this. Of course, there's layers and layers of teeth. But we'll give our Demogorgon this sort of edge that he has coming around all this. Coming around the rim of this whole structure of his head. Okay, and then there's like some wrinkles and textures and stuff all coming around here. Just to make it look more like flesh, kind of. Right, and then, so teeth, right? So if you want it to be like Fortnite, you make the teeth sort of bigger, like it's kind of easier, which is probably why they did that. We'll go a bit realistic, so we'll just start sort of adding them. So we're just going to go like spikes, right? Kind of like this, and I'll do them big-ish. They don't have to be teeny weeny. They are nearly like hairs in the show, so it's kind of up to you. So I'll just add V's, right? And then what I'll do is like come back to them and just close off the ends. You're just going to close off the end of the teeth like that, see? And then you might have some wrinkles in there. Okay, now you can do this as much as you want. So I'll just start doing them everywhere. And you can too. And I'll do all the V's and then I'll close them off all at once because it's kind of easier to do it that way. Okay, all these, and then I will just kind of close off the bottoms of them. Like that, and then I'll just add some more sort of textures in between all this. That looks a bit too much like a tongue, so I'm just going to flatten it a bit. He doesn't really have a tongue, it's just like some flesh sort of bumps back in there. So I'm just going to flatten this out a bit. Still kind of looks like a tongue. And I'll just add some random sort of teeth. Okay. So that's generally the Demogorgon flower head. So then we'll go down. So he's got like a real wrinkly sort of neck, right? So he's got like lots of like necklines and stuff just here. And these go into kind of his collarbones. And then this is like, you can pretty much see the bones. He's real skinny. And then we get like his chest going that way. And then there's all wrinkles on his chest. And then we get kind of his rib cage, right? So it's this sort of bumping, curving around, following the sort of chest shape. This real sort of bony protrusions kind of just for his ribs. And he's hunched over, like lunging towards us, so we just get like his kind of hip. Just going down that way. And there's like some sort of wrinkles and stuff all here. And then the legs just go off. So just long sort of legs like so. And again, sort of we gotta add like some wrinkles, sort of like, it's like you can see the muscle fibers of the thighs and all that kind of stuff. It's very sort of muscle fibery. So the arms, kind of shoulders kind of come out and down to claws. So we'll do this side first. So we can see like shoulder muscle here. And then this comes up to sort of his elbow. But again, very thin and sort of bony sort of arms basically coming down this way. Not sort of in proportion, kind of weird, you know. And there's like, you know, lots of skin lines and, you know, textures and stuff on that. So this comes down to like a big long claw there, but I'll get the other one in first. So we can just put a shoulder muscle here as well. And then we get sort of tricep up to sort of elbow. And again, you can draw, it doesn't have to be like perfect proportions now, because it is like stranger things. It's supposed to be weird and like elongated and weird, basically. So the arm then goes down real long. Again, just it's like a bone. So what do we need now? Claws. So let's try. So we'll go. So this is like the hand starting here. The claws are super big, right? And we go down to like a big, long, gnarly index finger down here with a big spike on the end of it, which then curves around this way. So it goes back up there. And then we get the next finger, adding spikes to the end. Right there, and I think we can see his thumb sort of here. some wrinkles and stuff on the hands, I guess. Right, and then the other side, so we'll go put the thumb. This long sort of hand then down to a claw, as long as we can go, really. They're ridiculously long claws. That, and then do. All right. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Demogorgon, iconic horror character from Stranger Things. Is this the last season that's coming? Or that it's released this week, I think, when I'm drawing this. So it's not out yet. Might be out by the time this gets uploaded. So is this the last season? Anyway, awesome show. That first season, like, was iconic. Just the music and stuff. Okay. Hope it's helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.